We now have what's called a lame duck president. So what can President Biden do in these next few awkward months between an election where his party lost pretty bad and President-elect Trump's inauguration? Well, we're going to see the first thing tomorrow, which is something we haven't seen in 8 years. But before I tell you all about it, you need to understand just because Biden is leaving office on January 20th doesn't mean his powers as president are diminished in any way. He still has all the same presidential powers he had before the election. But the issue now is the will of Congress to want to work with him, especially since the election gave Republicans control of not only the White House and the Senate, but maybe even the House too, starting next year. So one of the things we know President Biden is going to make a priority over these next few months will be the peaceful transfer of power. And tomorrow, we are going to see President-elect Trump come to the White House for a meeting with President Biden. Oh, to be a fly on that wall. Now, for lots of you who are new to politics, this may be sort of weird to you to see Biden and Trump cordial together in the same room. That's because when President-elect Trump lost the 2020 election, he did not invite President Biden to the White House for this very same meeting, which was, at the time, a significant break in protocol. In fact, in 2020, Trump did not engage in any of the normal transition of power events. The fact is, it is a long-standing tradition for the outgoing president to invite the incoming president to the White House for a meeting, and we are going to see that tomorrow. Now, aside from the transition of power, we also know, while he can, President Biden is going to be working with the Democratic-controlled Senate to confirm all the remaining federal judges on Biden's nomination list. So if you've been paying attention, you know how powerful federal judges can be. They are seated on the bench for life and have the power to stop laws that are passed by Congress and stop rules that are enacted by the president's administration. These are really important and powerful appointments. But to sit on any federal bench, every one of those judges must be confirmed by the Senate. With the help of then Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell during Trump's first administration, they were able to confirm 234 federal judges. That's a lot. So far, under Biden, the Senate has confirmed 213 federal judges, and there's still more than a dozen that are pending approval. And Senate Democrats are going to be pushing in these last few months to get those judges approved before the end of the year. President Biden and his administration are also going to be following through with all the other priorities that they have, and they want to get all of the federal dollars out the door to fund the projects that were legally approved and passed by Congress. That goes for infrastructure projects and clean energy projects and artificial intelligence priorities, among many other things. Lastly, we are going to see President Biden continue to engage on the world stage. In fact, he met with the Israeli president at the White House today, but he will also continue to advocate for Ukraine in its war against Russia and will continue his support for the all-important NATO alliance.